Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. As you can see from the title of this video, today we are going to be doing this look, which is inspired by the latest collection from Colourpop. Now I feel like it might sound a little bit weird to do a look inspired by the collection, like why not just buy the collection and do a look using it? It has kind of been on my mind, like maybe do I order it, do I not? But the more I look at the collection and the more I realise that it's pretty, and part of the reason that I want it is definitely the packaging, like 100%, but I probably already have quite a lot of things that are similar in my collection. I mean, the eyeshadow palette is essentially a nude palette, but with a pop of blue. So that's why I thought I would save myself the money and avoid waiting 2 weeks for my order to arrive, and instead give you a look using products I already have in my collection that I feel I would do if I actually had the Colourpop collection. So if you would like to see how I got this look today, then just keep on watching. Alright guys, so my eyes are primed as always with my P. Louise base, and I do have my Pink Honey Original Super Hold in my brows as well. I thought I had finally gotten rid of the irritated dry skin on my eyelids, but it came back with a vengeance, so hopefully you can't see it too much. It was super flaky, especially on my right eye, so we're gonna see how this goes. So I'm gonna be using a few different palettes today to help me get what I feel is like the perfect colour scheme. And the first one I'm gonna go for is this one by W7. It is the Queen Bee palette, which is the dupe for the Urban Decay Naked Honey. I'm going to take this shade over here on a nice big flat brush, and this shade is called Milk, and I am just going to start by popping that on the brow bone and setting that area in place. I just feel like it's going to help with blending later on, and it's not quite a matte shade, it's definitely more of a satin, so it's going to add a little bit of highlight, a little bit of sheen to the area. Right, so I'm going to go for a winged out look today, and I do want to try and keep it like a little bit more under control. I don't want it to end up like really big all the way in my hairline. And something that I do find really helps is to go in with an eyeliner pencil first to kind of help me position the shape. So I'm going to start off with this eyeliner from Revlon. This is the So Fierce Vinyl Eyeliner. The shade is Mighty Mocha. I'm just going to get rid of any creases. And I have given the eyeliner a bit of a sharpen before starting. And I'm going to start at the outer corner and start drawing on a little wing. I'm not going to take it too far out because this is really creamy, so the pigmentation is going to go far. And then I'm going to take an angled brush. This one is by Iconic London, and I'm going to blend that out and extend it a bit further and really draw out my shape. And I'm going to bring it in on the lid as well. You can see that little bit of eyeliner has really gone a long way. And then what I'm also going to do is bring it back in. And I'm not going to take it too high, just like literally in just above my crease. And I'm just going to try and make sure it's nicely pointed out, and then just blend that out. For my main lid shade, I want to go for the lovely yellow that's in the palette. So for that, I'm going to take the Bright Matte palette. And the yellow that I'm going to use is this one here, which is called Hello Sunshine. Now, because I'm just going to be packing on a matte shade, in an ideal world, I would be using a yellow base underneath. I feel like it's just going to give me a more even colour. The best ones I could see were the Danessa Myricks one, and then there's another brand that's sold on Beauty Bay, and they're both £18. And I was like, am I going to get enough use out of this to justify £18? And I don't know if I can. Anyway, I'm just going to quickly pat out any creases that might have appeared. The front of my eye is just looking so damn crusty. This is not going to look good, is it? And I'm going to take a Morphe M124, and I'm just going to pack the colour on. Yeah. Oh, I don't know if you guys can see just how crusty it's looking at the front. Oh dear. You could definitely also use a yellow eyeliner pencil. NYX do one, and it is not in stock in a lot of places. And for some reason it also wasn't on Superdrug. Actually, that's not looking too bad. It could be more even, but we'll live. I've gone over the edge a little bit here. I'm not too worried about it. I will come and clean it up. You can also use tape if you want to make sure that you're going to be really neat. I don't tend to find that I like tape on me. I don't know if it's because like I'm starting to get wrinkles, like I'm getting older, my skin is changing. Tape just doesn't do things right for me, so that's why I prefer using this liner technique, and then I just clean it up. Okay, so now that I've packed that colour on, I'm going to go back into the Queen Bee palette from W7. The Colourpop palette has some really nice warm browns, so I figured these ones up here would be quite good. You can hear Milton being really noisy in the back. Hi, what are you doing? I can't see him, but I can definitely hear him. So I'm just going to take a small flat shadow brush, and I'm going to go into this shade here, and this shade is called Sting, and I'm just going to come on the outside Kind of going from that wing and just pack a little bit on. And then I'm going to take the M124 again. Just going to go back and forth between the two a little bit just to blend them in together. Give me a really nice gradient. It's giving me a really nice mustardy colour actually. I'm really enjoying that. Hi! I guarantee he's going to meow at the wall or something. Hi! I'm gonna sit... Where are you? Hi! Come and say hello. No, he's run away. So I'm just going to take a bit more and I'm going to take it along the top. Taking a little bit more. And then again, just taking my M124 to blend, and I'm not even adding any new product here. I think I've still got so much left on the brush because this is a pigmented yellow, like it is very powdery. And then I'm going to go back into my angled brush and I'm going to take the top shade here, which is called Pure. And I'm going to use that right on the edge of that shape. Actually, I'm going to switch brush because I've just realised this one isn't very precise. I'm going to take this Just Wing It brush from Beauty Bay instead. I just want to make sure that shape is nice and sharp. And then I'm going to line all the way with this one. If you wanted this part of the shape to be really sharp, you could do that with a gel liner or a wet liner like the Sheen or the Glisten ones instead. But I want something a little bit softer. Just gonna take the Morphe brush again. I'm just gonna soften it. And then just try to sharpen it a bit more out here, but again, I'm going to be cleaning that up with concealer anyway, so I'm not too worried. Right, I'm just going to go back in with some of the lighter shade that I have on my brow bone. I have a little bit of transfer here, and there's not much that I can do about that, unfortunately, because of the eyeshadow shape that I'm doing. If I don't want any transfer because of the way that my skin overlaps here, I would have to do the eye look up here, and I'm not in the mood to do that today. So I'm just trying to go back over the transfer with that lighter shade. I'm now going to go in with my Inglot gel liner in the shade 90, so it's a nice brown, and I'm going to add on a nice thin liner, hopefully. Just need to hold my breath. I'm just going to add a drop of the Revolution Pro mixing liquid because I feel like I'm struggling a little bit. It's just going to help make it a little bit more liquid. There we go, so just a small wing, nothing too over the top, and we'll come and extend it in the inner corner later when we're done with the rest. And then the last thing I'm going to do with the eyes for now is I'm just going to take my P. Louise base on a nice sharp brush. This one is a PC54 from Peaches and Cream, and it is so lovely and sharp. I think I need to get like 3 more, and we're just going to clean up that underneath. I'm going to pat it out with my finger. Alright, I'm actually going to leave the eyes here for now. I want to keep the eye look like really simple, but you know, just still like really impactful. So I'm going to leave it here. I'm going to move on to the skin. And the first thing I'm going to use is my e.l.f. Mint Melt Cooling Primer. Still looks like toothpaste. Just doesn't look appealing. I'm also just not a fan of the smell, but I feel like this is going to be a nice texture under the foundation that I want to wear, because I want to wear like a lighter foundation. Oh, it does feel sticky. And then I'm also going to come in with the W7 Miracle Matte Elixir, and that is just going to be for my T-zone. Literally all I use with this one. 3 drops, that's it. There's no need to put the dropper on your face. I feel like that would just give you a horrible texture because this does contain like clay. So just a couple of drops if you just need it in the T-zone and the cheeks. A couple more drops if you need it for the whole face, but for me, that's enough. You know what? I think I might actually do things a little bit differently from how I do them normally. I normally always do all my concealer on top of my foundation, but because I'm gonna go for a thinner foundation, I think I also wanna go for a thinner concealer. And that means it might not quite cover all the darkness on my under eyes. So I'm actually gonna start off with my Too Faced Born This Way concealer in the shade Porcelain. Let me tell you, Too Faced do not know what porcelain is, because this is my fake tan spot concealing shade. I'm just gonna take a tiny bit and I'm gonna pat it out with my finger. And with this concealer, you really do just need the tiniest amount. I know that the YouTuber and Instagrammer way of applying makeup is to use so much concealer. I cannot get that to work for me. Look at how much a tiny bit is covered up. Like, I had more than I needed there. You know what, I might just bring it down a bit. I do have a lot of redness. We're experimenting here, we're just trying out. I'm just thinking that because this is like a little bit of a thinner foundation, let me just try and cover up the redness before I go in with it. Alright, so this is the Beauty Bay microfiber sponge. I've been using these for like a good few months now, since last year. I really like them. So I'm just gonna blend that concealer out, try and counteract a bit of the redness. This skin is taking me on a journey. Alright, so for foundation, I'm gonna go in with the Barry Fresh Face Foundation. I have the shade F2 and the shade F3. F2 probably actually matches me a little bit better now, but on camera it's just gonna make me look washed out. So I'm gonna go with F3, which is probably more my summer shade. It just comes in a nice little squeezy tube, so just really easy, light packaging, and it is a vegan foundation as well. I'm gonna pop some on my sponge. I did get sent this foundation by the brand because I was in the ad campaign for the whole collection, but I haven't really had all that much of a chance to play with this foundation again because my skin was really good over Christmas and I managed to keep it really nice up until the campaign. Since then, over the last 2 months, it's just literally gone downhill. I'm just taking a little bit more. Sometimes I do just want to wear a light foundation, but it's just a bit difficult. But it does even out the skin a little bit, and it smells really fresh. I can't put my finger on what it smells of. When you do have acne and things like that, there's just so much of it coming through. So I never end up reaching for these types of products. Pop some more on the forehead. It does feel nice on the skin though. It is really, really nice and lightweight. And it does have a bit of a glow. So if you do like something with a light coverage, like a tinted moisturizer or really light foundation, I think this is a nice affordable option. I am just adding more just to try and get the skin as even as I can with this. I'm gonna go back into the Too Faced Born This Way in Porcelain. This does have, again, excellent coverage, but it doesn't get rid of the glow of the foundation. It's not matte or anything like that, so I still should have a nice effect on the skin. So I'm, again, gonna blend out with this sponge. I mean, it's even a little bit lighter than the foundation, so I would definitely say that this foundation shade is my fake tan shade. Hopefully my skin clears up a little bit in the summer and I can wear this out. I'd quite like that. So now for my under eyes and my highlighting, I'm gonna go into the Revolution Eye Bright Concealer. I haven't used it again since my review. Just do a couple of clicks. There we go. It is nice and light, I will give it that. I forgot to say the shade, didn't I? I think this is Porcelain. What does it say? Yeah, Porcelain. I definitely wouldn't use this expecting any sort of coverage. And this is literally just for the colour more than anything else. Like, it's not really done anything extra on my chin. God, I just feel so glossy right now. I'm not even that glowy, but for me this feels so glossy. And then let's come and add some more. And then using my fingers, because I think last time that's what I preferred the look of. I'm gonna come in with the sponge. I mean, the coverage is definitely better than the first time I used it, but I did use another concealer underneath, so that is kind of to be expected. You can just still see purple coming through. Like, for the level of dark circles that I have, I would technically need a thicker full coverage concealer, but for the amount of creasing I get, I can't do that. Oh, does anyone else's face get itchy once you've got all your foundation on and everything? Just always have to tap it down. Right, so I'm gonna move on to the next part of the collection now, which is the blush sticks. They've got one that seems quite light, and then the other two seem more like browny, warmish. I think the colour on this should be good, hopefully. I finally got my hands on one of the blushes from Made by Mitchell. I've had this for a couple of weeks. They had an amazing sale on the website that was like 40% off. And I got the shade Peach Sugar. I mean, this is gonna be more peachy than what they have in the collection, but you know what, I really wanna use this. So I'm gonna dot maybe this much. I know they're quite pigmented. And I'm gonna take my PC19 from Peaches and Cream. I used it with a cream blush the other day and was like, oh my god, this is actually quite good. I feel like maybe this is having a hard time blending out, actually. There we go, that is so pigmented. I'm gonna say maybe this is a little bit more pinky than I expected it to be, but then in that case I guess it kind of matches up to the one in the collection, so I'm not mad. Okay, you know what, that's actually not too bad in terms of blending. That was actually fairly quick. I thought maybe I had some left that wasn't blending out, but I think I just have a spot. I think that's literally all it is. Might add a couple of extra spots just to bring it up and around a lot more, and it does just look so scary when you first start blending it out. Like, it is so pigmented. I mean, if you're someone who likes more of a natural blush, you could still use this. I would definitely not put it directly on your face, and I would be a lot more careful with how you use it. But I like a lot of blush. I mean, even for me, this is a lot though. Okay, well, I definitely look like I've been out in the sun now, don't I? I'm just gonna go kind of over a little bit with my sponge just to help blend everything in, and mostly because my nose is still so damn itchy. I think I'm just gonna take like the tiniest amount. I'm literally taking off all the excess, pop that right on the end, and that is going to be way too much, I can already tell. But we are going to go for the sunburn look. I mean, this is a Mediterranean inspired collection. I would definitely get a sunburn because that's all that happens to me. I don't tan, I just burn. So let's get that across here as well. Right, so I'm just going to start by powdering my under eye with my Revolution Eye Bright setting powder. So I'm just going to go in with a Morphe M330 first, just to make sure I haven't got any lines. I've still really been enjoying this. I do like this. So far it is the best powder I've found for my under eyes, and I do pick up quite a bit of product. It does also give a little bit more coverage, because we just don't quite have enough, do we? Like, I can just still see that discoloration. And then I'm going to take my powder brush, make sure we haven't got any excess there. And then as always, my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish. I've got it in the shade Light, and I have hit pan. So if you guys have any dupes for me, I would be very grateful. It's not quite in my budget at the moment to repurchase this one, unfortunately. I'm genuinely quite shocked that there aren't any bronzers in this collection. Like, imagine some bronzers in that really cute packaging. Like, I would definitely buy one of those. For now, I'm just gonna take my Revolution bronzer Reloaded. My shade is Holiday Romance. Again, we are pretending that there is sunshine, that I have been out of the house, and that I have a tan. Oh, I do love the tone of this bronzer so much. Honestly, that shade of bronzer, but just in that Mediterranean looking packaging, I would go for it. I would definitely go for it. I'm just gonna do the lips and the nose as well. Trying to decide if I want to contour as well. Might skip it today, I might just stick to the bronzer. I'm gonna go into my I Heart Revolution Peach Glow next, and I think I'm just gonna kind of deepen the blush a bit. It doesn't really need it, but just make it like a little bit more visible. So I'm gonna go in on this side with my Morphe Jaclyn Hill JH06, and this does have a bit of shimmer, so it's gonna bring back some glow to my face. And then I'll do the nose a little bit as well. And then we also don't have a highlighter in this collection, which again I find really surprising. So I'm just gonna go into this half of the I Heart Revolution palette, focusing more on this, and let's pop that on. Oh, that's quite nice. It's not super blinding, but it's very pretty. And then for the lips and the nose, I'm just gonna take that on a Zova 231. I'm just gonna pop on a layer of Too Faced Hangover Spray. Okay, with that smell and the fan, it definitely feels like being on holiday, I would say. All right, so time to finish the eyes off now, and I think what kind of attracts everyone to that palette is that gorgeous shade of blue. I know it's a pop of blue, it's been done and redone, but it is just like a particular shade of blue that you just don't see everywhere. So it was kind of hard to find in my collection, but I think I found something. The first thing that I'm gonna do is just lay down a base on my lower lash line, just because we've got concealer there that's already powdered, so I just want something for it to stick to. So for that, I'm just gonna take my Beauty Bay pastel eyeliner in the shade Blue Skies. I am really gonna try to stay in the lower lash line here, just as close as possible. Colourpop have actually also released eyeshadow sticks for the first time with this collection, and they have a stunning blue one. And I'm really annoyed because Elf also do one, and I literally placed an order from Superdrug the other day before I decided to do this video, and I was like, If I'd had the idea sooner, I would have ordered the one from e.l.f. and now I want it and I think I'm gonna have to get it at some point. And then now for the shadow itself, I went into the Revolution colour book. This is number 5, the blue and green one, as you can see. And down here on the matte side, we have these blues. Actually, I think the lightest one by itself may be enough. I feel like that's pretty close. That's as close as I'm gonna get. So I'm gonna take that on one of the smallest brushes that I have and get that on top of that eyeliner. Yeah, I feel like that blue is pretty close. Good on you, Revolution. You have not disappointed me there. And then to highlight the inner corner, I'm gonna go into my Boudoir Noir palette from Colourpop, and I think I'm gonna take this shade here, Bedtime Story, which is a pressed glitter, and I'm going to pop that on, and that is beautiful. Oh wow, that has just taken that to the next level. I'm gonna take my Revlon eyeliner again and pop that on the waterline. And then I'm gonna go back into my Inglot liner and create that extension on the inner corner. All right, we're nearly done. I'm just gonna curl my lashes really quickly. And then I'm gonna take my Revolution 5D Lash Mascara, and I have to say, I have been enjoying it so much more since the video, because I wasn't super impressed in the video, but I think possibly I had curled my lashes a little bit weird and it just wasn't sitting right. Since then, I've played with it some more. I've pretty much worn it in every look I've done, and I've just felt like it sits a lot better. It definitely doesn't give me volume, but I actually quite like the result, and I do think that the brush is really good for getting into that inner corner. And then for my lashes, I'm not being original in any way here. I'm gonna take my Ivy lashes by Libby Beauty. They are literally all I wear, and I have some here at the top that are already cut in half. I'm gonna use the inner half and just pop it on the outer portion of the eye. So what I do is pop the glue on the lash band, and then I use the fan, and that just speeds things up so much for me. And then once the glue is kind of starting to become clear, you just pop it on. And then I'm just going to fill in my brows using my NYX Lift and Snatch tinted brow pen. I use the shade Taupe. Alright, so all that's left now is lips. Now let's see what is actually in this collection. I know it's glosses. So there's a clear gloss, and then I'd say the other ones are kind of on the same peachy, browny effect. I'm gonna use a gloss, but I might use this on the lips. Let me find a lip liner. I'm gonna start by lining my lips with the shade Borderline from Peaches and Cream. And then again, I'm gonna wipe off all of this excess. Maybe this will be a bit too pink, I don't know. I don't tend to really like using these types of products on my lips because they do get really dry and really like flaky. But I'm gonna go over with gloss, so let's try it. Okay, so that's actually blended out to a nice soft colour. And then the Fenty Gloss Bomb in Fussy, because I'm literally the least original person ever. Oh, that's perfect. That is the perfect combination. Do we feel like this look needs fake freckles? I think it kind of does. I think it kind of does. Let me grab that. Lottie London Freckle Tint. Let's do this. This should definitely look a bit more believable with a thinner foundation like the one I've used today. Not that I'm any good at doing them, but we'll pretend. I tell you what I really want to try is using those hair dyes from L'Oreal, like those spray-on ones that you're meant to use to cover up the roots. I keep seeing that one being done, but I'm not feeling very confident with that white background that is so close to me. And then I'm just going to finish things off with another spray of the Too Faced Hangover Spray. Alright guys, here is the finished look. I hope as always that you like it. I'm actually really liking the skin, even though you can definitely still see loads of imperfections through it. I like the way the blush and the bronzer are sitting, like it is giving me holiday skin, like I feel like I've actually seen some sun. And then the eye look, it's definitely creasing a little bit and messing up a little bit, so I think I will just have to go over the brown again just to take photos. But as I said to you guys, that is something that is completely inevitable with the shape that I've decided to go for on my eyelids. It's gonna transfer, there's nothing I can do about that. But I just didn't want something too big. Like, this is the shape that I wanted to go for. I wanted it to have a little bit of a retro feel, and I feel like I've achieved that, so I'm really, really happy with this look. If you enjoyed this video, then do, as always, please make sure that you give it a big thumbs up. Leave me a comment and letting me know what you thought of it. And if you haven't already, do please make sure to hit the subscribe button as well as the notification bell so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And I'll see you all on the next one. Bye, guys.
It's just me and you.